I went from going to a WrestleMania as a fan to 10 years later, I'm at a WrestleMania in my hometown. It's very storybook.
This is it. This is the building that launched my career.
I am Brian Heffron, better known to the wrestling world as the Blue Meanie. We're in my favorite bar on the planet, McCusker's Tavern on the corners of 17th and Chunk. First match I ever remember seeing was Rick Martel and Tony Garea lose the WWF tag belts against Mr. Fuji and Mr. Saito. And that was it. I was like, I love this. Every week I watched it, religiously. And then I graduated into buying magazines and eventually going to shows and stuff like that. It's became my obsession. I went to the first WrestleMania with my grandfather. I loved pro wrestling, but I also loved stand-up comedy. The over-animated guys like George Carlin. The signature meanie face is my grandfather. I remember when I was a kid looking up and my grandfather would look over at me and go, and here I am, 30 years later, as the Blue Meanie going. I grew up as severe asthmatic as a kid. I battled depression. I dealt with a lot of bullying. A lot of people would make fun of me, and a lot of kids, would pick on me and beat me up. But I figured if I can make them laugh, maybe they'll leave me alone. Pro wrestling gave me that escapism. You could go to a pro wrestling event and you could cheer the good guys, you could boo the villains, and have this live interaction that you don't get with anything else. And that's what made me fall in love with pro wrestling. I just graduated high school and I was going to go to wrestling school. I worked in the casinos for a good year. Every week I would take my paycheck, half would go to the house, and the other half would go in the sock drawer towards tuition. My family has a going away party for me the night of WrestleMania 10, and then I pack up everything I own, and the next morning I'm driving 13 hours to Lima, Ohio. I could have stayed in the casinos and I was making decent money. I could have stayed there, got a 401k and this, that, and the other thing. I just walked away from something that could have carried me for the next 20 years to take that risk. This is essentially my college. Body Slammers Pro Wrestling Gym in Lima, Ohio. I lived in the gym for a full year. I've kept this all these years because it brings back great memories. I was there for 2 months and my grandmom called and said, Pop's dying. But his words were, don't come home. I have to do this. If I'm going to be away from my grandfather while he's dying, I have to make it. And I was able to send home one match for him to see me. Him and his friends sat and watched me have a match. And we moved back to South Philly. That's where the ECW opportunity came. And it was almost like it was meant to be. Philadelphia's a hard-working town. A bunch of busted knuckle, lunch pail, blue collar guys going to work. And then when they come home and they want to have time off from their job, they want to have something to take their mind and go elsewhere. The Phillies give them an option, Eagles give them an option, Sixers give them an option. Pro wrestling was the ultimate in escapism. I debuted for ECW in Philly. I debuted for WWE in Philly. Then my one and only WrestleMania moment was at the Wells Fargo Center, WrestleMania 15. You couldn't have asked for a better thing to debut in front of in the city I was born. 50 years later, going on 50. I'm still doing the thing I loved in the city I love. The lasting impact I would love to have on the art of professional wrestling and is that I did whatever it took to help people have that escapism. I wanted to give them a laugh. I wanted them to give them a moment of cheer, I could look out in that crowd and I could see somebody who was like me before I got into the business. And I know what those fans want because that's what I wanted. I just grew up wanting to do something to entertain people and make people laugh. I'm very fortunate.